Hey guys, how y'all doing? My name is Kieran and this is Foxoff RPG. So today we're going to have a look at a supplement and setting called Shadows of Camelot. This is by William Hashman, also and most commonly known as Runeforged Tabletop Gaming. He's a fellow YouTuber and a buddy of mine, and he has created a brand new awesome adventure and a setting based in Camelot. It's going to take Arthurian myths, legends, tales from stories from throughout England, and you can pull it into a brand new cool setting. It's going to have a level 1 dungeon and an adventure you can go into, and you get into the world. There's going to be lots of plot points that you can follow along to take you up through the levels to inspire you for different quests as well. Like it says here, you're going to have 27 themed points of interest. Each entry is going to have a written up part in the book, what it is, what's being involved in there. You're going to have a load of brand new enemies and creatures and friendly people as well, not only just bad guys. Some cool new magical weapons. Example here, Merlin's staffs, a cursed Excalibur weapon, which is pretty cool. Like I said already, a brand new level 1 adventure called Tomb of the Headless Knight. It's really fun, it's simple, but it's really good. Rules for charity, and that's going to replace the carousing table, and as it says here, to fit better into the noble dark tone and setting of the book. At the end of the book, it's going to have more history about the world, and it says here as well, 37 pieces of incredible old school inspired art from a variety of talented artists, including Runehammer, the basic expert, Dean Spencer, and many more. Also includes a bunch of maps. We'll be having a look at them as well. But not only that, we're also going to have a look at this. It is a class called Knight of the Old Code. This goes along with Shadow of Camelot, but it is completely free, and it was released about 3 weeks ago. So it was released on the 23rd of last month. So that's that. So let's get into the video. So here's the book, Shadows of Camelot, by William Hashman of Runeforged Tabletop Gaming. So it's going to have a bunch of stuff here about the writers. Obviously it's Will. Special thanks to Adrian of Dungeons Alexia, my buddy of mine, a buddy of ours to say. Bill of Crawl Club, who was awesome. I'll be talking to him in a little while, hopefully. Myself. So basically, I know what I done with this was I was given a preview copy. I looked over the book. I gave some things I thought on the layout that could be changed or moved around a little bit, and I looked at some of the hex crawling stuff. I was hoping to get a bit more done, but I was really badly sick, and I'm just ungodly thankful that he included me in this when he did not need to. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I have a big smile on my face. So it has here, like, the cover art is by Runehammer. The layout is inspired by Farius77, who we just looked at the other day. Shadows of Empire. I'll leave in the top right hand corner link. But there's lots of great other art in here, like we said. There's some of them are going to be public domain, and so on. Inspirations: Excalibur, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Merlin, Robin Hood and the Prince of Thieves, and the Green Knight. Now the Green Knight is absolutely excellent, and I would recommend everyone watch it. I think you will get a good idea of the setting from that movie alone, as well as the Excalibur movie. I think those, if you had to only choose two of them, I'd choose those two. You'd get the feel of everything quite well. So Shadows of Camelot is a human-centric campaign setting for Shadowdark RPG, designed to take players from level 1 to 10. So as I said, there is a level 1 adventure in this, but there will be a bunch of basically points that you can use to inspire sort of adventure part of sorts, and the DM will create this along the way, and it's all very well laid out, and I'll look through it now in a second with you guys. But also in this setting, it's not only taking myths and legends, it's taking some historical figures. Like you're going to have Richard the Lionheart, he's away during the Crusades and stuff, I think, at this point. You're also going to have his, I believe it's his brother, who ends up taking it over while he's away. And yeah, you're going to have there's going to be, by like the Green Knight, the Headless Knight is kind of like supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be the character that the Green Knight basically cuts the head off. That's the idea. And there is magic items relating to that sort of stuff in this, which is pretty cool. At least that's what I think they are. At least it reminds me of the stories. But you're going to have Morgan Le Fay, like it says, like Richard. There's going to be Richard the Lionheart. He's away in the Crusades. You've Prince John. You're going to have Robin the Hood. Yeah. So lots of cool things. And yet you're going to have his merry men as well. Like I said, there isn't only just enemies. There's going to be new allies or people that you may or may not come across, depending how things go. So you're going to start off in the Southern Lands. Yeah, I'll bring up the map now, actually. Because there's a map here. I'm going to bring up another one. It will... There we go. So yeah, so you're basically going to start off in Noxley Village. And this whole area here is the Southern Lands. And you can see lots of different points we can go to along the way. Same with all over here. But this area is sort of meant for levels 1 through 5. These dark spots are water. But you see these light grey? That's mist. Now this mist is not good. But if you wanted it as well, you could have mist over these watery parts. Because there will be encounters within the mist. So... just saying, it's something you could do if you want. It's pretty cool. So again, you have the Ruined Chapel. That's where your adventure is going to be taking place. That's in this towards the end. Borden. And the idea is you cannot get past these mountains. As a GM, I would put that the players they're impassable. And they have to go this way. Or it's going to take them so long. And they're going to have a lot of encounters, more than what the Shadowdark core rulebooks has. Because to get into this part up here, it is much higher level. So just to stop them from crossing too early. And yeah. And then eventually you're going to come across this area, the Wilderlands. You have Hunter's Hall, the Wolves Den, Worm Rest, Fomorian Ruins. I wonder what's in there. What's Fomorians? That's taken from sort of Celtic myth and lore, which England does have. Because people need to remember that England was once a Celtic lands, and then the Saxons and the Romans and all them came through, or the Romans and then the Saxons. But yeah, and then this is going to be another bridge. It's going to lead you off into the Feywood, which is going to be like a much higher level place. So yeah, so it's pretty cool. Again, all these points that are named are going to have entries, which is pretty damn cool. So it's like 27 points here. Yeah, so they're going down. So in the Southlands, you're going to arrive, like I said, in Noxley Village. Then you can start your adventure there. And it's going to have a bunch of different names. There's Lord Robert the Hood, and his merry men. The forces of Prince John and his lackeys are going to be of Sheriff of Noxley. The monks emeries. The monks of St. Emery's. St. Pire's Inquisition. Then at some point the players will likely get a glimpse of the ruins of Camelot, slowly expanding the mist surrounding it. Eventually the polices are going to go into the Winterlands, which is recommended for level 5 or higher. So that's going to be Act 2. If the player characters don't go north, their favourite faction may request they do so. So the idea is to get you to go on a quest again for Divine Chalice, and determine if Morgana is indeed returned and if she has the chalice. So if she gets the chalice, she's basically going to cause a lot of problems in the world. So you can follow along here if you wish, but I don't want to spoil too much, because again, these are all points that you could follow if you wish to come along, but there's not like stuff written out directly for it. But everything in the book is allowed you to facilitate all of it. So these are basically, again, points of interest for creating quests, which is really damn cool. The Sutherland's encounters are going to have different encounter tables here. This is for the beginning area. This is like the mid-level area for level 5 or more. And then for the Feywood, you're probably going to be level 7, 8, 9. 7 might be pushing it, but yeah. And the Mists of Camelot. So the mists, again, they're going to be all over the place. And then the Mists of Camelot. So these mists, bring them back up here. These mists are over here. But like I said, you can put them here. These are water. You can put them around here and around other places if you wish. See, there's more here. That's actually a road, but it does imply there is some sort of mist around some of these areas. It's going to be up to the DM how much they want to lean into that, because these mist encounters are rough, or they can be rough. And then you have the Feywood encounters. And it talks about the different points of interest. Again, we'll just read one or two of these, like the Noxie village. So it's going to be a bounty display in the village square, offering a small fortune for the capture of Robert the Green. Wonder who this is. Maybe it's something to do with your adventure. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Let's find out. So Robert's sometimes known as Robert the Hood. Now again, these guys will pop up every now and then, or not at all. It's going to be either up to a random roll or the GM to decide if they're going to come in. There is advice for having Robin the Hood and or his merry men to come along if the player characters become in mortal danger. There is something here if you want to do that, so you don't wipe out your players and then have to sort of restart things. So some of the encounters are going to be pretty tough. There were some small changes in the preview version that there is in this, so that might have changed a little bit how deadly it is. But again, it's Shadowdark. Shadowdark is deadly, it's fun, you're going to have a great time if you like old school sort of play. So again, we have the Rune Chapel here. It's going to say it's a long abandoned chapel. This is where the Headless Knight adventure is going to be taking place, the level 1 adventure. And the idea of this is basically you're going to go into the crypt and you need to try and get the chalice. That's basically it. And if you do or do not, that's going to be part of the adventure. And it's going to lead towards, like we said, these other plot points that are being laid out for us as a DM or GM, whatever you want to call it. I always say this, I know. But it's going to lay out how you can go about these things. And honestly, this is great. You'll get books who will say, oh, just go with adventure, have fun. This is going to give you your adventure. It's going to give you all your points of exploration that you need to know, and points of interest, encounter charts for everything. And then you can build upon these ideas. You can add more stuff into it, take stuff out, or you want to replace it with something. You can do that very easily. But it's giving you a very simple sort of adventure path you can follow. But obviously it's up to the players and where they go. There's going to be groups and factions of this that can direct the players towards certain things. We have Noxley Castle. So basically everything that is on this chart here is named in some point, in some way. So that's pretty cool. The Boar's Den, like we just looked at there 2 seconds ago. The Boar's Den. So everything here is named. The Green Girdle. Yeah, this is going to be a magic item. And when I talked about the Green Knight, there was it's kind of a long story. So in it's a whole like poem or story in sort of medieval England. So the Green Knight was a knight who came in and he basically asked someone to beat him in a fight, to kill him. If he kills him, he wins, whatever. So a guy comes over, he tries to kill him, he takes his head off, and the knight grabs his head, puts it back on his body, and then he goes to take his swing at the other knight, but he says he will do it again in a year's time from now, where he must meet him in this wood. And he gets like a girdle that he can wear, which protects him. And you can get that. It's basically going to give you a deflection bonus in this. It's really cool. I just kind of went off there, but yeah. So I did play this outside like the hex stuff, and I've done some more adventuring in general. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun. I have not got to level 10, obviously, but it's damn good. It's like there's a lot of flavour to everything going on here from Morian Ruins. This is again going to be up into the Wilderlands. Yep, and it's going to have tons of monster stats and creature stats. Not only monsters, but allies. Carousing and Charity. This is cool. So this is going to replace your carousing stuff from Shadowdark. Essentially, you can give money in order to gain a charity outcome. Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's just replacing it. And there's going to be different points of the game where you can do it. And like some of the towns and cities, you can come across poor people, whatever. That's going to be up to the DM as well, where and when they can do things. So, for example, if we had like a +5 in total, we roll a d6 plus 5, so we roll a 3. So 3 plus 5, that's going to leave us to 8. And that's going to give us a +4 experience and a luck token. A blessing from your god. Friends and foes. I think actually now would be a good point to have a look at the Old Cold Knight class. And then we look at this part here. It's going to be just 2 minutes. So the Old Cold Knight is pretty damn cool. It's super flavorful. It's going to fit in super well with Shadows of Camelot because it was designed for it. So it's going to take any melee weapons, all armor and shields, 1d8 hit points. You're oath sworn. So if you break your oath, you can no longer use your abilities, which is Uphold the Code. So you have to be lawful. Uphold the Code, you gain 3 abilities that you can use any time of day. No, you have 3 times a day you can use the following abilities. Wording is a thing. So a Knight Sworn to Valor, add +1 and half your level, rounded down to a d20 roll you just made. So it's basically giving you a little boost if you're just missed out on something. So say if you needed to get a DC 15, you roll a 14, there you go, level 1. You succeed then. But that takes it down to 2 possible powers or abilities you can use. The Heart knows only virtue. Immediately nullify a harmful effect. Example, a charm or something like that. That's also very powerful. But there is a lot of deadly stuff in this, so it's going to go really well with it. So it balances out quite well. Their blade defends the weak. Become a new target of an attack that would hit a close ally. So if you're in close range, so maybe you're near your mage or something like that, you will now become the target. The idea should be like maybe he jumps out in front of an attack, or the character is making a noise and the enemy is now directing their attack towards them. You can sort of come up how you want that to work. The words only speak truth. Basically, if you believe something to be true, no one can convince you that it's not true, no matter how they try, and you can't tell a lie. That's kind of cool. So there's and the rat undoes the wicked. Double the damage you just inflicted on a chaotic creature. There's only a few chaotic creatures in this, so you can basically double your damage, and they're going to be more tougher, higher level stuff. And there is other creatures in this, which are definitely can be quite devastating early on to your characters. You're going to have rates and stuff like that. It's going to be 1d6, so they can drain your stats and stuff like that. And then you have the Night Code talents. So you roll 2d6. On a 2, you get once per day. Last stand, you cannot drop below 1 hit point for 3 rounds. So if you get that again, you reroll. Where is it? 3 to 6, you gain a +1 to your attack or damage. 7 to 9, you gain +2 to either your strength, constitution, or charisma. 10 to 11, gain additional usage of Uphold the Code each day. And on 12, choose a talent or add +2 to distribute to your stats. Now, this is different from this. So this you have to take +2 to either your strength, constitution, or charisma. With this, you can have a +1 to your strength and +1 to your wisdom, or something like that, or to your intelligence and wisdom. Or you can just add 2 to any stat. You can choose how you want to do things. So yeah, that's the Knights of Old Cold. It's really cool. You can only be lawful. Here are your different titles: a Knight Aspirin, Knight Errant, Knight Champion, Knight Exemplar, Knight Paragon. Any other, you are an Oathbreaker, which means you cannot use your ability, but you can try to redeem yourself. So you maybe can use charity charts, or the DM can come up with how you can basically get back your to redeem yourself, essentially. Where are we now? Oh yeah, friends and foes. Tons of new monsters and creatures and friends, like it says, you can come across. So I'm not going to go over all these. There is a ton. These are brilliant. Again, I always say this. One thing I love about adventure books and setting books is when it has new creatures. This is another thing you can pull from. Super cool. Has everything here. There, this is the Green Knight from the Green Knight movie. I don't know if in the tale it's actually like this and this is something they just did for the movie. I cannot remember. But yeah, pretty awesome. The Headless Knight. This is going to be part of your adventure. King Arthur. King Arthur's undead Mount Fire Dragon. King Richard. It's Richard the Lionheart. Royal Griffin, Captain Knight, like cool stuff in here. Little John, the Merry Men. So Tuck Fryer, Will Scarlet, Nisium, Robin Hood, you know, all these guys. Morgan Le Fay, more Descended. And then you have lots. It just keeps going on. You have Shadows, Inquisitors, Pirate Patrol, Giant Spiders. I think this is the one from the core rulebook. And the Whites as well, same. Yeah, but it has everything you need in this, which is awesome. Trinkets and treasures, pretty cool stuff in here. There's some magical weapon in here that you can get. It's like a dagger. Here's the knight. There's the green girdle. A simple sash that's covered in long dried blood. Benefit: you deflect an attack once per day that would hit you. Curse: using this item's 1 day ability changes your alignment to neutral if you were previously lawful. So remember, if you are a knight of the old code, you can only be lawful. Anything else than lawful means you're an oath breaker. So if your player character doesn't know about its ability, because they're not necessarily going to know exactly how it works unless they test it out or someone tests it out, but then there's going to be that side effect of the curse. That's pretty cool. It's going to play into that really damn well. By the way, that I don't know if I said this. I think I said already, but this is completely free. The class. Yep, this is awesome. Merlin's staff. It's corrupted though. I love cursed items. Cursed items are so cool. You're starting to see a bit more cursed stuff in Shadowdark now, which is awesome. Ritual dagger. This is it. This is something I absolutely love. It's just cool. It just adds flavor and team. It basically it turns a spell into a blood spell, and it's so simple. So you're a magic user. You usually have the dagger is a +1 dagger. So you cut yourself before you use your spell. Then any damage that you get inflicted onto yourself, you then add that damage to your spell effect. So that's pretty cool. But then the curse is each use of this item benefits. Basically shifts your alignment towards chaotic. That's super cool. It's super thematic. Just filled with a sense of the world, which is so cool. So then we have the Tomb of the Headless Knight. So the whole idea of this is once you arrive into the village, I'll bring it up again. So Noxley Village, you're going to be asked to go on a quest by basically Robin Hood, Lord Robert, and they're going to basically want to find out if Morgan Le Fay's come back, if she's bad, if she's good, what's going on, because her alignment historically has gone all over the place. So the whole Headless Knight is Sir Gadwin. I think that's how you pronounce it, Gadwin. He has become the Headless Knight. He has lost his head, and he's basically looking for it. And he's very hostile to everyone around him. And we're going to go on this quest. Again, it has all the stats here, like we just looked at before. And it's going to be pretty straightforward. You're going to go to the area. You're going to go to the Tomb of the Headless Knight. And you're going to go fight your way through. You're going to might come across some stuff here and there. It's very straightforward. But basically, when you get to the end of it, you're going to get that green girdle, like we talked about. It's going to be a cursed item. But then it gives you next things you can do. You still have to track down the knight. It's going to give you an idea of where they're going to be. You then can assist Lord Robert in recruiting Lady Marinan. These are all part of like sort of more PowerPoints, ideas of quests you can do. Again, like this quest is very short, very simple, but there is these PowerPoint ideas which they give you enough information to create a quest to go along for the DM to come up with something, which is quite smart. And it's not overly complicated. It's like, go here, talk to this, find this creature or monster, here's the layer, stuff like that. Same way we saw at the beginning. It works really well though. It requires you to have a morsel of creativity. So if you do not have creativity, try and get some, because you know D&D and all these RPG games, you are required to have some level of creativity as a GM, DM, and even as a player. And then we're going to have a brief history of Albion. So it's going to go about millennia ago, over a century ago, and aftermath. So this is stuff that your players might need to know over these two parts, or they can come across it if they're new to the area. Like maybe you decide your players are all locals, and there's going to be more information they're going to know. But yeah, that's basically it. So again, guys, this has been awesome. Again, I want to thank William, for giving me the preview copy of this before. I haven't been paid for anything. He gave me the preview copy. Some stuff in this on this version has been changed, and yeah, it's so cool. He added myself and Adrian of Dungeons Alexia, Bill of Crawl Club, who also has a Kickstarter at the moment. Yeah, I think that was just so cool. He did not need to do that. But again, thank you so much. And yeah, that's it, guys. So let me know what you think. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thank you, and goodbye.